And joining us now in studio is CBS News White House correspondent Weijia Jiang to break down much more about this meeting. Good morning. Thank you for waking up early and hanging out with us.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
So you have an intense schedule yourself, following what is an intense schedule for these world leaders. So take us through exactly what the priorities will be in these meetings.
Well, today is all about this summit with Xi Jinping. Of course, the president is here for the APEC summit, so he wants to court leaders from the Indo-Pacific, and he will be talking a lot about the economy, the global economy, and how that can impact and strengthen the U.S. economy. But today, all eyes are on this meeting because they haven't even spoken for 1 year because tensions between the two countries have gotten so high. You'll remember that back in February, the U.S. shot down a Chinese spy balloon, and it was after that that it became very apparent that the military-to-military contact just wasn't there anymore. In fact, the Chinese first went dark back in August of 2022 when then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, very well known, of course, here, visited Taiwan. And that's when things really started to ramp up in terms of the friction. So that is why we heard President Biden yesterday saying that, hey, look, we have to be able to pick up the phone and talk to each other. And so yesterday we spoke with the coordinator for this entire region in the National Security Council about how likely it would be that they could resume that communication. Take a listen.
Look, I think that's a real possibility. I believe that the United States and China have been working very diligently over several months on a number of initiatives. Mill-to-mill resumption of ties is near the top of the list. I think the president believes that it is dangerous where American and Chinese forces are operating in close proximity with no way to communicate if there's a crisis or inadvertence. And so we're going to take those steps to try to reestablish, and I believe that we'll make progress.
Okay, sorry, our mics, we were having some issues. One of the topics that they're going to be discussing today is the fentanyl crisis, and that's something that hits hard here in San Francisco, obviously. With China sending the precursors and, having, obviously, so many chemicals that go into that fentanyl, what kind of progress can they make in the talks?
Well, we actually are expecting a major deal. And the leaders are expected to announce that after their meeting today. So essentially, China would crack down and target, the sources of fentanyl, these ingredients that you're talking about that make their way to the southern border and then flood into the United States. And so we're waiting to hear even more details about how that will happen. But yes, it is a huge priority, and it's one of the only tangible things that we are expecting out of this meeting, along with the new communication between the military. And just the fact that they're meeting alone is a huge success because of the fact that they haven't for so long.
I also wonder, just looking ahead, how much of a success this will be for Biden, just in perspectives of voter confidence as we look to an election year next year.
Well, certainly he's hoping that this is another chance for him to show that on the world stage, he is a leader, that he has decades of experience in foreign policy. And when it comes to making big decisions, when it comes to talking to other world leaders, he is the person that you want. The question is whether that will resonate with voters, because when you talk to voters, it's not exactly China-U.S. policy that they're worried about. It's things that we talk about at home. How are we going to pay our bills? How much does it cost to fill up the gas? Now, all of that is related to China, but I don't know if that's, what's top of mind. But the president has made a real effort to try to lay out how all of these conflicts in, the Ukraine, in the Middle East, the strain with China, how that impacts national security and the economy here at home. So it is an opportunity for him once again to make that case. But, it's hard to say how that will impact the average voter.
Well, it could inform the narrative that we will see on the debate stage coming up. Obviously, one or two questions will be about China, issues like Taiwan, that spy balloon that made the headlines. We thank you so much for getting up early for us. We know your day is packed. If you only knew how packed your day is, you would send virtual coffee to Weijia. We really appreciate it, and we thank you so much for getting up early this morning.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
You're a part of our CBS family.
Thank you, Weijia.